Ever heard that Napoleon Bonaparte was super short? Or that Vikings wore horned helmets? Well, get ready to have your mind blown, because today we're debunking 6 of the biggest lies in history that a surprising number of people still believe. Let's dive right in. First up, the myth of Napoleon's height. We've all seen the cartoons and heard the jokes about Napoleon complex. The truth? Napoleon was actually about 5 feet 7 inches tall, which was average, or even slightly above average, for a Frenchman in the early 19th century. So, where did this short guy reputation come from? It's a classic case of bad PR and a measurement mix-up. The British, his greatest enemies, launched a massive propaganda campaign to mock him and cut him down to size, literally. Plus, the French inch was slightly longer than the British inch, so his French height measurement of 5 feet 2 inches was misinterpreted as being much shorter. He also surrounded himself with his Imperial Guard, who are all required to be exceptionally tall, making him look shorter by comparison. So Napoleon wasn't tiny. He was just the victim of some very effective historical trolling. Next, let's talk about those Viking helmets. Picture a Viking. I bet you're imagining a burly bearded warrior with a helmet sporting 2 big horns, right? Wrong. There's zero archaeological evidence that Vikings ever wore horned helmets into battle. Think about it. Horns would be incredibly impractical in a fight. They'd get caught on things, and an enemy could easily grab one and twist your head. The image actually comes from the 19th century, when costume designers for Wagner's opera Der Ring der Nibelungen decided to add horns to the Vikings' helmets to make them look more dramatic and fearsome on stage. The look was so striking that it just stuck. Real Viking helmets were much more practical, usually simple dome-shaped caps made of iron or leather, sometimes with a nose guard. So next time you see a horned helmet, remember it's more opera than Osebergship. Moving on to number 3, the idea that Christopher Columbus discovered America. This is a big one, taught in schools for generations. But here's the reality. You can't discover a place that's already inhabited by millions of people. When Columbus landed in the Bahamas in 1492, the Americas had been populated for at least 15,000 years with thriving, complex civilizations. He wasn't even the first European to arrive. Norse explorer Leif Erikson landed in what is now Canada around the year 1000, nearly 500 years before Columbus set sail. So while Columbus's voyages were historically significant for connecting the 2 hemispheres and kicking off a period of widespread European colonization, calling him the discoverer of America completely erases the existence and history of the indigenous peoples who were there first, as well as the earlier Viking expeditions. Our 4th lie takes us to ancient Rome. You've probably seen it in movies. A defeated gladiator lies in the sand, and the emperor gives a thumbs-down gesture, sealing his fate. It's a powerful image, but it's probably not accurate. Historical accounts are a bit murky, but most scholars now believe the gesture for death was likely a thumb pointed up, mimicking the act of drawing a sword. A closed fist with the thumb tucked inside, known as pollice verso, might have signified mercy, representing a sheathed sword. The whole thumbs up for good, thumbs down for bad idea was popularized by a 19th century painting by Zhang Lian, Jerome, and then cemented in pop culture by Hollywood films. So the next time you give a thumbs up, you might be accidentally sentencing a gladiator to his doom, at least by ancient standards. Now for a tale of genius and, well, bad grades. We've all been told that Albert Einstein failed math as a child. It is often used as an inspiring story to show that even the greatest minds can struggle early on. It's a nice sentiment, but it's completely false. Einstein himself debunked this myth. When shown a newspaper article claiming he failed math, he laughed and said, "I never failed in mathematics. Before I was 15, I had mastered differential and integral calculus." The rumor likely started because the German school grading system he experienced was reversed at one point, where a 1 was the best grade and a 6 was the worst. Someone probably saw his later grades and, not understanding the system, assumed he was failing. The reality is, Einstein was a mathematical prodigy from a very young age. Sorry to burst that bubble of inspiration. Finally, let's address the infamous words of Marie Antoinette. "Let them eat cake." This quote is used to portray her as a clueless, out-of-touch monarch who had no sympathy for the starving peasants of France. The story goes that when told the people had no bread, she flippantly suggested cake as an alternative. But there is no credible historical evidence that she ever said this. The phrase actually appears in the writings of Jean-Jacques Rousseau. In his Confessions, when Marie Antoinette was just a child and living in Austria, long before she even came to France. Rousseau attributes the quote to a great princess, but doesn't name her. It was likely a piece of revolutionary propaganda, a powerful soundbite used to fuel public anger against the monarchy. While the royal family certainly lived in extravagance while many suffered, this specific damning quote is almost certainly a historical fabrication pinned on her. And there you have it, 6 massive historical misconceptions officially debunked. It's amazing how stories can take on a life of their own and become accepted as fact. History is always more complex and fascinating than the myths we're told. Which of these surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more myth-busting content. See you next time.